What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Jim Leadis, and today I got a quick update for you about the EIDL. That's the Economic Injury Disaster Loan, and the PPP, the Paycheck Protection Program. Now, if you're new to the channel, I do everything from investing, finance, entrepreneurship, and anything that has to do with money. So if you're into that kind of thing, then definitely want to hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm. With that said, let's get into it. So the SBA put up a form to apply for this $10,000 grant through the EIDL, which basically meant anybody with a small business, sole proprietor, anybody who worked by themselves could go ahead, go online within a few minutes, fill out a piece of paper that says, I would like to qualify for $10,000. Simple as that. By doing that, we end up getting a massive surplus of people, massive surplus of signups and requests for these documents, and there's just no way to really tell which is real and which isn't. You know, you have the people who really do need it, who really do apply, you got people who lie and take advantage of the system. So I think that's the number one reason why they had to postpone this. We were supposed to get money a week ago. I'm pretty sure it was supposed to come out within 3 days of you applying. I applied like a week and a half ago on a Saturday. It's been taking some time, but you know, again, I don't think the time is the biggest issue here. I mean, you gotta understand, they just threw this website together. They haven't worked out any of the kinks, but I think what is really upsetting is how they keep changing the policies. And not even what's written in the bill is what the new policies are. The new policies are completely different than what's written in the bill. So that's an issue. They're just changing the words on the website, and that's not right. That's really sketchy stuff, and I don't like it. And really the biggest selling point of the EIDL loan for $10,000 was that even if you get denied for the loan, you still get the grant and you never have to pay it back. So why wouldn't you just roll the dice and try to apply? But who knows? I mean, it doesn't add up, right? They're not being clear to us with everything and all the details, and they keep making changes behind our backs like this and then throwing it at us. At the end of the day, not many people are going to complain about this, because once you start getting your free money checks in, you know, it's going to be like a pacifier. I mean, I guess they had to get these out as soon as possible to calm people and just to give them reassurance, like, hey, we're here to help, don't worry about it. But you know, it is what it is. So right before the update, I want to give you guys a quick recap on what we already know. So the EIDL is the Economic Emergency Disaster Loan. So that's the loan that gives you up to $2 million. It's non-forgivable, but you get the $10,000 grant. And that is one of the main topics of today's video, is about that $10,000 grant that we haven't seen yet. The last thing is the PPP, the Paycheck Protection Program. That gives you up to $10 million. It's only used for payroll, originally thought, but that's also part of the update, and it is forgiven. So there's a difference between the two. You are able to get both of them, but there's some differences and stipulations between that. So I'm gonna go ahead and screen record this whole thing, but I also did include the links to everything down below if you guys wanna follow along on your own computer. Go to the SBA website, they have a list with some updates on it, and we scroll down to the frequently asked questions. So this is gonna be all the new things that we didn't know before. So it gets kind of weird. So the first thing off the bat, borrowers can apply for both Economic Injury Disaster Loan and the PPP. We already know that. However, the Paycheck Protection Program and the Economic Injury Disaster Loans cannot be used for the same purposes. So before, they never really told us any of that, and now they're kind of splitting it up. They don't want you to kind of take advantage of both systems for the same thing. So as far as we know right now, the PPP is strictly used or geared towards payroll. You know, the EIDL is more of a cushion for your business, I'd say. And now here's one that's given us a big change up right here. So the PPP loan must be used for payroll, minimum of 75% of the funds received, for it to be eligible for a forgivable loan, and the remaining 25% is used for a different purpose: mortgage, interest, rent, and utilities. So basically they're saying is 75% of what you get can use for payroll, 25% that you get is used for the other things, utilities, and your expenses for your business. So if we go over back to the PPP information sheet, we can see that it doesn't say anything about splitting it up. However, it does say here, it is anticipated not more than 25% of the forgiven amount may be for non-payroll costs. Say you get $10,000, okay? 25% of that, $2,500, is for utilities, rent, mortgages, etc. And then the 75%, $7,500, will be used for payroll. Before they didn't have it split up like that, it was kind of like, oh, you're gonna get, you know, 10, 20 grand, whatever it is you're gonna get. And that would kind of be that, you know, you could kind of split it up as you would. You know, what if you got $20,000 as this loan and you need it really for payroll? but you can't spend all 100% of it on payroll. Borrowers who accept both loan funds should document the uses of the funds appropriately, and that's really important, guys. Eventually they're going to review your stuff, and if what you paid doesn't match up with what you were given, it's going to wave a flag, and then you're going to run into some trouble there, and they're going to want their money back. So if you want these sort of things to be covered and forgiven, just keep a log of everything you do and everything you use this money for. It's super simple to do. Just write it down. So the next one is pretty interesting. It says if your EIDL was used for payroll costs, your PPP must be used to refinance your EIDL. So basically, I think they're really trying to stress that they want the PPP to be responsible for payroll costs. If you did use the EIDL as payroll, they kind of want you to reimburse that money with the PPP. I don't know why, but they're two separate different things. I mean, who knows? They're just trying to keep it more clear on paper, maybe. Any advance up to $10,000 on the EIDL will be deducted from the loan forgiveness amount of the PPP loan. All right, that's really interesting. So advance of $10,000. That's the grant we're talking about in one of the other videos with the free $10,000. So they're saying if you get the $10,000 grant from the EIDL, then it will deduct that $10,000 from your PPP. They don't really want you taking more than you really need, and they gotta divide this thing up. They don't want you taking double the amount of money here, okay? They don't want you to overtake. For example, a borrower may attain a loan from the PPP and use the funds to pay 8 weeks of payroll or employee retention. If the EIDL loan was used for payroll expenses, the borrower must refinance the EIDL loan with the PPP loan, which carries a lower interest rate as well as a shorter maturity period. Again, same basis, they want you to pay back the EIDL grant with the PPP loan. The PPP loan will give you a lower interest rate with shorter amount of time. So they want their money back as soon as possible, basically. If you are applying for both, you can accept the PPP first, then decide whether or not to close on your EIDL approved loan. Doing it this way will prevent the problem of having to pay back your EIDL grant or loan with your PPP. You're not going to double take, you're not going to double pay back. And they want you to pay back the EIDL with the PPP. But if you take the PPP first, then you won't have to pay back the EIDL because you already took the money and you don't need it anymore, right? So, good thinking there. The application period for PPP loan runs through June 30th, 2020, but the EIDL period runs through December 2020, okay? Now here's one that's really interesting. The EIDL loan advances will start to be distributed this week. That's incredible. So today's Tuesday, I'm making the video, so probably at the end of the week, Thursday or Friday. But anyway, it says $1,000 per employee up to $10,000 max. Now this is something that's huge right here because originally the EIDL grant was a $10,000 grant to keep your business afloat. Here you go, here's a chunk of money, don't pay us back. The problem with this is, everybody started applying and I think they just got overloaded with their servers and, too many people were applying for this grant. Hey, free money, they're giving it out. So now they're saying $1,000 per employee up to $10,000, not here's 10 grand, keep working, you know what I mean? And we could go look at this in the bill itself. The amount of an advance provided under this subsection shall not be more than $10,000. This isn't saying up to $10,000. It's not splitting up $1,000 per employee. It's a little bit different now, so that they're changing it. They're tweaking everything here. So it sounded really good to begin with, but now, they're cracking down on it even harder. This is something I'd be upset about. If there's a way you could kind of fight this or request more or something, I definitely would. I'm not sure, but this is kind of ridiculous because before the EIDL was a grant, $10,000, here you go, keep your business going, do what you got to do. But now it's $1,000 per employee up to $10,000. For example, for my business, I don't have any employees. It's just myself. So I think I may get $1,000 off of it, but if not, I may get zero. I was anticipating getting $10,000 to keep my business afloat and keep going. Yeah, that kind of sucks. And now here's one for you. If you did not apply through the streamlined process, which started last week, it's requesting that you visit the website and reapply. So that's pretty cool. I'm glad I did that last video. If you guys missed that video, go check that out, how to apply for the EIDL. We did end up reapplying for this thing. Just go ahead and reapply, which kind of sucks because I spent it was only 20 minutes or a half hour, but I spent a lot of time doing the old method. They had a bunch of papers you had to fill out and everything, and the streamline is super easy. Fill in the blanks, answer the questions, yes or no, whatever it is, check the boxes, and you're done. And the EIDL loans will not require a personal guarantee for loans under $200,000. I'm pretty sure we said before that there was no collateral. Let's check that out in the bill. It says no personal guarantee shall be required for the covered loan and no collateral shall be required for the covered loan. And now they're saying under $200,000 it won't require a guarantee, but now it's requiring a guarantee, I guess, over the $200,000. And then the last one is EIDL loans will not require real estate collateral loans under $500,000. So again, with this collateral, if it's over $500,000, then they're going to want collateral. So they didn't say anything about that before. They said no collateral, and now we have collateral and personal guarantee. So you can see that they definitely made a lot of changes to this thing. And again, I think the reason being is when they first announced this thing, you have hundreds of thousands of people, if not millions of people. I mean, you got 10 million people on unemployment. There's something like 30 million businesses in the United States. And you have, I think they just had a surplus amount of people applying to this thing and it just wasn't working out. It didn't make sense. The numbers didn't line up. They threw this thing together overnight. I mean, literally within a few days, they had this bill written up. They had, the website up, how to sign up for it and everything like that. There's no way they could have worked out all the tweaks and fixes, but things like this is going from a $10,000 grant, here you go, to $1,000 per employee. That's a big difference, okay? That's not a minor tweak. And then also saying, no personal guarantee required, no collateral required, to asking for both of those things. Kind of unfair to us, but at the end of the day, we can't do anything about it, so I would just go ahead and apply for it. I'm going to link this new update here in the description below for you. I'm going to link the PPP information sheet here, and I'm going to also link the entire bill there for you guys to read through yourself. If you have any other questions, comments, or suggestions, leave them in the comments below. I read every single one and answer to all of them as well. I upload about 2 to 3 times a week, so make sure you go ahead and hit the subscribe button and hit the like button. And once again, thank you for watching. I'm Jim Leadus. I'll see you on the next one.